Is it possible to witness an angel or demon in real life? If these accounts are true, then I'd say it is. Welcome back. I'm here. Today, we're going to look at the Van Meter visitor. On the evening of April 14, 1903, William and Mary Hopper were driving home along the road between their farm and the small town of Van Meter, Iowa. The sky was clear, the moon shining brightly. They had passed the last farmhouse and were almost home when they saw a strange light coming from the south side of town. It looked like a large bonfire, but there was no smoke. When they got closer, they could see that the light was coming from a clearing, and what they witnessed made them pull over and sit in their wagon for several minutes. It was a most unearthly spectacle. Hovering over the clearing was a large bat-like creature with a wingspan of up to 18 feet. The beast had glowing red eyes and seemed to be having some sort of fight with another creature which was not visible. The creature was emitting a strong, sulphurous odor. They watched this battle above the trees take place for about 20 minutes. Then the beast flew off toward the west. William and his wife were deeply religious people and took the event to the local minister, Reverend J.C. Price. He tried to reason with the couple that what they saw was probably just a large eagle or some other mundane animal, but William insisted that he had seen a demon, and they weren't the only ones who had seen it. On April 16, 1903, William Hopper went into town and met with more of his neighbors. One neighbor told him that he had also seen the creature, and they decided that enough people had seen the beast now that it needed to be stopped. So, what do you do when you find out that your small town is being terrorized by a giant flying demon? You get the local preachers to perform an exorcism, of course. All of the ministers got together, formed a prayer circle, and performed an exorcism. The creature was driven out of town. For a few days, peace returned to Van Meter, but then it came back. The monster would fly through town, roaring and beating its wings against the buildings. Several people were injured by the wind from its wings, and others were knocked off their feet by the vibrations of its movements. People would run out of their homes to see the creature soaring around the streets. It would rise up into the air and then dive down towards the river, where it would disappear into the darkness. It continued this assault until the morning of April 21st, when it vanished into the mouth of a coal mine. Now, this wasn't any ordinary mine. This was the very same mine that had produced the first commercially successful underground coal gas. In fact, the plant was still operating. The townspeople went to the mine entrance and could hear strange sounds coming from inside, such as the flapping of wings, heavy footsteps, and unintelligible growls. After the commotion inside died down, a man walked out of the mine, seemingly covered in coal dust. He explained that he and two other miners had heard the commotion and had gone to investigate. They found footprints in the coal dust and some torn clothing, but no creature. As the days passed, the footprint turned out to be from a boot, and the torn clothing was a miner's coat. The people of Van Meter were relieved that the monster was no longer haunting their town, but now they were angry. The monster had damaged property and injured several townspeople, and so they demanded that the mine owners seal the entrance to the mine, lest the creature escape again. But those mine owners had no intention of doing that. Sealing the entrance would collapse the tunnels and flood the mine, destroying the coal gas plant. So the people took matters into their own hands. That night, a group of armed men snuck into the mine. They shot anything that moved. They found nothing except some bats. In the end, the creature was never found, and the mystery remains to this day. What exactly was this monster? Some claim that what the people saw was a large bird, perhaps an eagle or an owl. But there are many eyewitness accounts of this monster that don't match up with this explanation. First of all, an 18-foot wingspan is extremely large, even for an eagle. The largest eagle alive today, the Philippine eagle, has a maximum wingspan of just under 8 feet. Also, eagles don't usually attack humans, and this creature was described as a menace, attacking people and animals alike. Another explanation is that the creature was a type of extinct bird known as an apiornis. These birds were about 7 feet tall and had a wingspan of up to 20 feet. However, fossils of the apiornis have only been found in Madagascar, not in North America, and scientists agree that this bird went extinct around 1,300 years ago. So if it did exist, it would have been extremely rare to see one in 1903. Then there's the explanation that this was simply a hoax. The people of Van Meter wanted to get rid of the mine, and the easiest way to do that was to make up a story about a giant monster living inside. There's no proof of this, and it doesn't explain how people were injured by the monster or why so many people claim to have seen it. Also, would a bunch of farmers really risk their lives hunting a made-up monster? Perhaps it was something else entirely. Some believed that the Van Meter monster was a large extraterrestrial creature that came through a wormhole or a portal. The monster escaped from whatever dimension it came from and was trying to get back. This would explain why it flew into the mine, because the mine had recently been used to test potential portals to other dimensions. This part of the story isn't true. The mine had not been used to test portals to other dimensions. That only happened in another incident, which we covered in our video, the vanishing of Jacob Wetterer. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And tell me, do you want to see more videos about unsolved mysteries from history? Because if you do, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.